What's up guys, the Allfather here, and today I'm going to bring a video, and it's not a new thing, but been looking around YouTube and looking around chats and stuff, and have seen just a ton of activity revolving around the topic of engineered bases, including 0.5, but mostly these hyper-engineered bases and clans, and just the whining about how that's ruining clan wars. And I mean, I agree, it sucks, it's no fun, but just wanted to give my input on it because I've heard a few suggestions and a few ideas and not really too keen on them. And the first thing whenever there's a problem and kind of basic problem solving skill is, you know, identifying the problem. So I think we've identified and can agree that hyper engineering is a problem as far as competitive wars and competition, and those kind of things. I'm not even going to get into the idea of cheating, because if you can do something, the game allows it, it's not cheating. So anybody that says that hyper engineering bases and 0.5 is cheating is just an idiot, honestly, because if it's allowed in the game, it's not banned, it is not cheating, it's just a certain way to play the game. Cheating is what happened this morning and over the last day or whatever, when tons of people got kicked out for using mods and bots. That's cheating, that was dealt with harshly, and that's the way it should be. And so I am totally on board with how that was handled, and really glad to see those folks that can't seem to play fair kicked out of the game. I could care less. They don't deserve to be in it. That's fine. But the issue is not the players, and the issue is not how they're playing the game. It's the system. Hyperengineering is simply gaming the matchmaking system. It's set up a certain way. Players are smart enough to figure out what that is, and so they build bases and clans and rosters accordingly. That's not cheating. That's gaming the matchmaking system. That's understanding it. So what's the problem? Is it the players and the clans, or is it the system? It's the system, obviously. So the current state of clan wars, as everybody knows, is that offense is greater than defense. If your offense can, you know, at same town hall level going against an opponent, and your offense, whether it be heroes, whether it be troops, whether it be camp capacity, spell capacity, is greater than your opponent, you're going to beat them and 3-star them. Doesn't matter what their defense is. Offense is greater than defense. That's the whole thing behind the 0.5 base concept. It's the whole thing that's driving 0.5, and it's the whole thing that's driving engineered bases and engineered clans. Offense is greater than defense. That's the state of clan wars. That's why it's happening. And so, I mean, that's just the way it is. So you can't argue with the people that are doing things a certain way, because that's the way the system is created, and that is what's being incentivized currently, and so that's what gets done. That's pretty normal stuff. But there's been several proposed, supposedly so-called fixes to this, and I'm not going to get into all of them because I don't want this to drag out. There's been enough stupid videos done on this thing. But the big one I'm hearing is the most, and getting some backing, is this idea of, if you go to the next town hall level, then your weight should automatically be the war weight for the previous town hall level at max. And I'm going to tell you right now that, as great as that may sound, it's ridiculous. First of all, it's going to kill people who have already rushed and are trying to recover. And secondly is, I don't want Supercell trying to tell me how to upgrade, how to play the game, how to, you know, build my base, when to upgrade, when to not upgrade. I just don't want them to do that. I want to play the game the way I want to play the game. So again, the problem is not with the players, the problem is with the game and the way it's set up. And matchmaking is broken. You want my thought on it? Matchmaking is broken. So I've listened to a lot of people, a lot of big name YouTubers and stuff, and there's been a variety of different opinions, and we all agree that hyperengineering sucks, but the reality is there's a reason it's there. But it's not Supercell's fault in the fact that they won't just do something about it. It's their fault in the fact that they won't fix matchmaking. Now, I'm not a big matchmaking griper because I think most of our wars end up coming out really fair. We haven't really had a problem with a bunch of rushed clans or even clans with higher heroes or 0.5s or whatever. And we still tend to beat them anyway because of better organization and, those kind of things. But if you really think and you're really going to cry about things like, oh, they have higher army camps because they're a Town Hall 10 or 11, or they have the extra spell factory and so they're going to blow up my Town Hall 9 base as a Town Hall 10, or they have max heroes and no expos. Well, who cares? The problem then is with how things are weighted. If you want to fix that, you don't stop players from playing a certain way. You take the incentive to do that away. And that is by strengthening the incentive to have a defensive base. Not to the other extreme now, to where you can only 1 and 2 star things and 3 stars are impossible. But everyone knows that heroes and camps and spells and everything offensive is how you win. And so weight them accordingly. The problem is we have a weighted system that's based entirely almost on defense. We have these huge weights for stupid things like walls, which, look at a base. How many walls actually do anything in a base out of 200 and 250 walls? Only about 30 of them get dealt with, maybe, on going through a base. So change the weight on those. Mortars. More than one person has said how useless mortars are. And so, but the splash buildings like mortars and wizard towers are weighted extremely high, even though they're extremely ineffective against a lot of mass attacks. And so weight those defenses accordingly and drop the weights on those kind of things and increase the weights, or put weights on, if there aren't any, on things like heroes, on things like spells and spell factories, on things like army camps. Don't tell me how to play the game. Don't automatically weight my base something arbitrarily stupid because I made a good or bad decision to rush to the next Town Hall level. If I rush to Town Hall 9 but I only have Town Hall 7 level army camps, then that's my problem. And I know that's not the way it's happening. It's in the reverse. I have level 7, Town Hall 7 defenses and Town Hall 9 armies, but the point is just weight everything accordingly. Fix the algorithm, fix the matching, and by doing that, you're going to address this issue without telling people how to play the game. Just fix the matching, fix the weighting, and then the game will dictate how people play and how people upgrade accordingly if it's done correctly. And I realize that's easier said than done. It's not just like, I don't have a clue what the algorithm is. Some people think they've figured it out and have a much better clue than me. Obviously, Supercell knows exactly what it is and could fix it in a heartbeat. Why they don't, I don't know. I'm sure it's not an easy thing. You've seen, once you do one thing to one troop or one part of the game, you affect another. And that's the hardest part about balancing, and that's why I don't knock it a whole lot usually. But this idea that Supercell needs to tell me how to play the game, or any other player needs to tell me how to play the game because their clan gets a bad match. Well, sorry, tough crap. That's just not the way life works. Just de-incentivize the bad behavior, if that's what you want to call it, and give people an incentive to put defense on their base. It's so simple. It's just not rocket science. It's so simple, and yet we can't seem to get it done. So I've gone enough on that. That is my real simple fix for this so-called problem of 0.5s, engineered bases, whatever. Just de-incentivize it. Make the matchmaking system take more account of offensive strength, troop numbers, spell capacity, army camp capacity, and that'll balance the game. Simple. Don't tell or force people how to play, what to upgrade a certain way. Just fix the matching, prioritize offense in a greater way, just like we already know is the case in Clan Wars, is that offense is greater than defense. Balance that, and you fix the whole engineered base problem. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I know you probably don't care. I don't really care. It's not a big deal to me. Like I said, haven't really come across it a whole lot. Would be really ticked if I'd come across some of the things that I've seen brought up in some of these other videos. And we know that there's clans that'll do this. But again, de-incentivize the bad behavior, and those kind of things will go away and get balanced out. So that's my 2 cents. Whether you agree with it or not, don't really care. But thanks for listening. And again, if we're all together on this and we are saying the same thing, then hopefully Supercell will listen. If not, well, then I guess that's their problem and their choice. But thanks again for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. No trolling. And feel free to follow us on Twitter at Clash with Taff. That's at Clash with Taff. Till next time, this is the Allfather. Thanks for watching.